So, here are the things that you should consider right after you secured your J1 visa. Some of the most essential things that you need in the USA. One of the thing is housing. Number one is doing your research. Start sooner rather than later and spend a bit more time researching potential accommodation. Once you have decided on your location, start your search. It might be an idea to wait until you have secured a job to find an accommodation within reasonable distance, or at least with sufficient public transport nearby. Stick to the safe neighborhoods and you get what you paid for. So if you found a cheap accommodation that seems almost too good to be true, trust me, it probably is. Number two, where to find accommodation? The best way to find safe and secure accommodations are ask for advice. Ask friends or family who has done the J1 program for advice on where to live and if they have contacts for the previous landlords. And if you have secured a job, you could ask your employer if they have any recommendations or contacts who could provide accommodation. You can use the J1 Facebook group pages. These pages are updated regularly with students looking for roommates and putting you wide to potential scammer. But be careful if anyone can access these pages and may see this as an opportunity to scam students. Look for accommodation on or near your workplace or your university campuses, and you are guaranteed to be near facilities such as shops, bars, restaurants, and public transport lines. As many US students and interns travel for college or their internship, they usually move home for summer months, so leaving their student accommodation vacant. So this is an ideal for the J1 students, but make sure it's all legal because some leases do not allow for subletting other people. So many students, what they do, illegally sublet to cover their costs for months they are not living in their dorm or their rooms, and their landlord has no ideas. If you are caught, you can get evicted. Number three is avoiding scam. Every year, the threat exists to have your entire J1 program ruined because of a scam when searching for a place to stay on a state side. So do not wire transfer big sum of money before seeing the accommodation. Trust your gut, and if it doesn't feel right, look elsewhere. You have tons of options available. Book a hostel for a couple of days, couple of months, Airbnb for the first week or two when you arrive. While you search your accommodation, it's the safest way to find a legit accommodation. This way you can go to house or apartment viewing before you sign up or pay anything upfront. Use a reputable website to find accommodation and check previous reviews. If you must have accommodation before you arrive, ask the landlord for a Skype call or a tour of the apartment. That would be ideal. A common excuse used is that landlords are conventionally out of the country or maybe the state when you're planning to arrive and leave you with the keys for your accommodation. And if that's in the case, you need to talk to them and make sure what's going on and what's their plan. Number four, reading your lease. Read your lease, then read it again because it can be complicated most of the time. Like any other contract, read through it thoroughly, even get a second pair of eye over it before signing the lease. Make sure the accommodation is furnished if that's what you want. Many landlords will show you, they can show you pictures of their places fully furnished. Sometimes it can be furnished, sometimes it's not. So just check your research. And now many students prefer to pay less rent for an unfurnished apartment and just fill it up with essentials from the Craigslist and find out your utility bills are included in that rent or not, as this might be an added cost. Check for the electricity, gas, water, Wi-Fi, and those are the most basic expenses that you about to encounter when you move in with any other apartment or house. So number five will be moving in. This can be a bit hectic, but just follow me on this. Arrange your arrival time and date with your landlord so they can arrange to meet you with the keys and etc. Check the place for pre-existing damages. If you find any damages already exist, take picture and let your landlord know so that you are not blamed for them in the latter time. There are some landlords out there that will do anything in their power to fix all of these things and give you a fully nice room or apartment. Respect your housing as you should. It's important to treat it with care like it's yours, and you get the security deposit back after your lease ends. And respect your surrounding neighbors to avoid the noise complaints, as you may get fined as well. So my next topic will be the banks. How to select the best bank accounts for international student in the USA. The USA has two types of bank accounts for international student. Most of anybody, a savings account and a checking account. A savings account is an ideal for a better interest rate and to save money over an extended period, or for student planning to work part-time, whereas a checking account allows you to deposit or withdraw and send money online as often as you would like. So if you ask, so how does a J1 holder obtain a social security number? In order to obtain an SSN number, the J1 participant must take the following step. Number 1 would be visa validation. Upon arrival to the US, participant must send us their US residential address via the website. Then they will use this information to validate their visa within the government SEVIS database within 2 business days. The J1 holders cannot successfully apply for an SSN until their visa has been validated. Number 2 will be Social Security Office appointment. This is important. The participant will then need to give a visit to the local Social Security office with all required documentation to apply for his or her SSN card. It is advised that the participant applies the SSN no less than 10 days after entry to the United States and 48 hours after providing the cultural visas with the required information to validate their visas. This is to ensure that all the database have adequate time to communicate with one another. Applying before this time may result in further delays. To apply, the participant will need to take the following documents, as you should note this: nearest Social Security office. So first one will be the Form SS5. The SSN application form can be downloaded from the Social Security website. Second, the Form DS 2019, which is your certificate of eligibility. Then the next one is letter of sponsorship printed from their approval email sent by the cultural visa. I-94 record printout. The admission number and the electronic I-94 can be accessed online for the duration of the J1 program here in the US. And participants should click on the Get Most Recent I-94 to save and print their I-94 travel record. This should be listed at their most recent entry into the US with a J1 visa form, DS702, official training plan, offer letter from the host company if you have it on your disposal. Number 3 will be taking the time. At least it takes 2 weeks to receive an SSN, which will be mailed to you to the address that you provided on the SS5 form. So if you are thinking that do the J1 participant need an SSN to begin their program, their training? The answer is no. Please read the guidance from the Social Security Administration on the topic. Participant can be added to their host organization payroll without an SSN. They can show their receipt of having applied for the card, and the host organization or the company will be able to use that a dummy number to enroll them on the payroll until they get their particular respected number. Participant must give their host organization their social security number as soon as they receive it. If you already have a social security number, then you are already good to go, and an SSN is a lifelong personal identification number. If a J1 participant has already been in the US and obtained an SSN previously, then do not apply for a new SSN. The previous number that you obtained should simply be used. Thank you for watching today. I'll see you on the next time.